Okay, this is one bedroom window, and there's a total of 5 of these. And the problem with the bedroom window is that it's no longer to code as far as how big this opening is. And in another bedroom, well, we'll show you later on in this video, I think it was during my father's time, well I know it was during my father's time, but the middle glass here is the one that opens. And the top and bottom glass panels do not open. And I guess when there was probably cracked glass or when it was some of the linkages are old, I don't know what the case was, but in that room, there is no longer a glass in the middle. It is a wood panel and it no longer opens. And before, once you had your business license, you just keep renewing it, but now you're required to have a fire inspection every renewal. And having the wood panel in the other bedroom, that does not open, that will not pass the fire inspection code. And another thing about the fire inspection code is that the window has to open a certain area, and these old windows don't follow that. They might grandfather us in for that, they might not. But the wood panel, they definitely will not accept that. So now let's show how these old windows work. Oh, where this becomes expensive is that these old window frames, they're much thinner metal. The frame is thinner. The frame around the moving glass is much thinner. And so what's on the market now, the fabricators cannot build a new panel that opens and closes because the parts that they use now for the window frames and linkages and hinges are all bigger. They will not match the existing frame. So the only way to do it is to replace the whole thing. And we're going to look at if there's another option in the hardware store. But looking at this, let's see how this operates. Go ahead and come closer. Now on this window, the screen, you got to pay attention not only to what you're looking at there, but to everything around, so you see how you frame it in the shot. The screen is on the inside, not the outside. And so you have to lift the screen, and then this plastic rectangle here slides left and right to unhook the moving panel. And now the window is unlocked. And then you can lift the screen a little higher and push out. And here you see the hook that is hooking on the bottom under here. Show where my finger is. There's a tab there that the hook latches onto. Now, go ahead and back out a little bit. Now, the window is so old and has warped over time that you can't just pull this shut and then latch it. It will not latch. You have to use considerable force. You're forcing the window shut with one arm and pushing the frame, flexing the frame out with the other arm in order to allow that hook to, and so it takes a strong person to actually lock this window back. And in order to do that, you have to completely remove the screen. You need to angle this way so you're showing the window, not me. So you have to completely remove the screen, set it on the floor. But before I show you that, while we have it unlocked, I want to show you some other things. So it's the fire code is 24-inch width minimum and 20-inch height minimum for someone to escape. And that area has to be a minimum of 5.7 square feet. And we have that until we open it. Because in this older design, that nowadays, when you open this kind of window, the hinge is here, and the window gets higher and higher and higher. This window doesn't do that. This window, as you open it, this is not a hinge, this is a slide, and it slides down. And once this slides down, once we get this far open, we no longer have the 24-inch height requirement from the fire department. And then if we measure from here, come look down here, higher up. If we measure from here to here, higher up. If we measure from here to here, this is only 18 inches. And so we open this wider to get the 24, but now this is not, we don't have the 24 here. So you gotta pay attention. You gotta look not only on the screen. We won't have the 24 inches here anymore. And so, even if the Guam Fire Department is willing to grandfather us in because of when this house is built, the military will not. And the military is what allows you to get an additional $800,000 in rent a month. So the military doesn't approve these kind of windows. And then to show you the age and how difficult it is to close this, come here. So see this crack here? Snaps into place. But this side, see this crack? Show the daylight. You can see that flexing going on. I can't get a good seal. Now I'm gonna try and work this. You may want to come on this side. So I'm gonna try and work, and the problem is I can't get the tab and the hook to meet unless get it as close as I can, and I have to push out on this lower frame, hooking my elbow to my body so I can really push on it hard. And with my other hand, I'm pulling the window in very hard. If you can see this crack here, see how that's flexing? This crack here, under here. So I'm trying to get that tab close to the hook. And it's a huge effort just to, now the window's locked again. And now and then now after you've done that, now you can put the screen back. But originally you would just slide it open, slide the screen up a little bit, open and close, latch, unlatch, slide the screen back down. Well, because so much force is required because of the age and warping, you got to remove the screen completely. Now let's go look at this other room. Keep it rolling. So this is the missing window. And the screen is still here for whatever reason, but it's here. But this is still here, but it's I don't know if it's working. Oh, there's one more thing I forgot to show. So this doesn't open, and that's not going to pass the fire code. I'm going to have to open up the other window to show other maintenance issues regarding these old windows. And if anything goes wrong with, I'll put this up later. If anything goes wrong, with anything, whether it's a metal, there are also some plastic parts here. So you see this handle here is plastic. If anything happens to that, we can't replace that. We're not going to find, there's a plastic thing here. Now the other thing is, this is not a hinge. Let me see the camera. So this is a plastic part attaching to the window frame, and this is a plastic part that slides up and down in that track. And so whenever these parts wear out, we're not going to be able to replace those. And then someone's going to have no window until we can. And the manufacturers on island, the fabricators on island cannot, their parts don't match this part. So the only thing all the window companies can offer us on island, and they build it here. We always prefer to go with a company that builds on island. We don't like to special order. So that if there's a tenant has an accident, or someone breaks into a house, or
typhoon, tropical storm, we always try to go with the window people that are fabricating on island, so we can always get parts and get it repaired right away. Because if we're waiting for months for a special order, tenant's gonna move out. So that's where we are with this windows, and I'll be checking on some options and get prices to you.